Hi everyone, my name is Katie. Welcome to my page Red's Stitchery. Today it's going to be a new format. It's so new that I'm actually refilming it third time now because I keep disliking the way it was filmed the previous two times. So I think this time is finale. Whatever, how it turns out, that's what we're gonna do with. But welcome to my new series, and please let me know at the end what you like, what you dislike, what should I change. Do you even like this new series or not? But I recently was able to stash a huge collection of oldie but goodie random cross-stitch magazines and cross-stitch books, and I am going to do a flip through. Be honest with you, it's kind of hard because you don't want to show the patterns, but at the same time, what I've tried to do, I've tried to sit down and put some stickers or cover the pages with the patterns, and it's so much work and stuff. So bear with me. I have this piece of paper, which is actually my game, that if I see a big pattern, I am going to, cover it. But something going to be seen, I think you need to be absolutely insane to stitch some kind of pattern from the video because you cannot see anything. So I'm not going to stress over it. My apologies in advance if I'm gonna hurt anybody's feelings, but I am refusing to be stressed over it. But I do want to show you these magazines because me previously, like last year, I was not paying attention to magazines at all. I thought they're all outdated. There's never gonna be anything that I like. Some of these from early 2000s, I think the earliest one is like 2008, and some of them goes back to like 1989. So I already had a pretty good collection of magazines, but with my recent stash found, I thought I need to share. So, maybe when, I don't know, you're gonna see a lot on eBay, somebody will suggest to give it away or whatever, don't say no. Trust me, I learned this lesson. These actually fun. I don't know, again, last year I didn't pay attention to them at all. This year I keep buying bundles of it because I keep finding in each one of these at least one pattern that I want to stitch. Also, I'm gonna just let you know right now, some of these going to go to my permanent collection because some of those are gold finds that, oh my god, amazing, breathtaking. In the future, I might change my mind. Some of them are still gorgeous pattern inside, but nothing that really connects with me. So I think it's just cruel to keep them in stash with me, and I think it's a great idea to gift it to someone. And some of these magazines, which patterns are still absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, I decided I'm going to go giveaways. So if you want to get a magazine in the future and you haven't subscribed yet, highly recommend it. It's not going to be go often because in each magazine that I found or I have in my stash, at least one pattern I want to stitch. So how it's going to happen, I'm going to randomly pick a magazine, I'm going to randomly stitch a pattern out of it, and if it's magazine not out of my permanent collection, it's going to go in a giveaway. You will see it in the future, but that's the plan. I think they should go in a rotation, people should stitch from them, they should do their purpose, and I think it's a great idea, especially that now half of my collection was, I found it an estate sale for free. People were just boxes of these magazines. I kind of flipped through them. I picked the ones that really spoke to me, which is funny. The next day when I come back and I'm like, well, maybe I will take the rest of them and I'll do more giveaways. Magazines were gone. So I'm like, okay, it means there's cross stitchers in my town. I just don't know them yet. But anyway, let's start the fun part, flipping through these magazines. Again, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. In the future, there's going to be giveaways, and this magazine and this box with this fabric is not here for no reason. This is going to be my first magazine that I'm going to stitch something out of it. We're going to flip through it, and when we get to that page, I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you everything that I have prepared already for that pattern. So it's all here, the floss and the fabric. The pattern is here. I have not started yet. I don't know when I'm gonna start it, be honest with you. Right now I'm that odd place where I want to cross stitch, but I'm not in that obsessive mode, and I'm just stitching only one project right now, which is very unusual for me. Usually I'm rotating projects like every day, but right now I'm concentrated on one. I feel comfortable, I'm enjoying it, and I have absolutely zero desire to rotate in it. I want to stick to one, and I've decided that I'm going to do it. Let's start with this magazine, since that's the first one I've chose to stitch something out of it. This is Just Cross Stitch. Look at this, February 1991. This magazine is older than I am. What I love about magazines also, which now we have Instagram and YouTube and other platforms for inspiration, but I like flipping through them and see how they suggest for you to decorate your finished project. And I like to see how they're taking pictures, and I don't know, that style speaks to me and I love it. I have not read the magazine yet. I don't know what the articles are about. Since it's my first magazine that I've chose to stitch, when I'm going to start my stitching, I'm sure I'm going to read it completely, so I'm not missing out of all the fun parts. But the first page we see right here with the commercial, which is DMC floss. The chart is super cute. And then of course, since it's a magazine, we have one of these subscription ones, and chapters, right? More magazine, more commercial, the letter from the author or editor. This is Teresa Wenzler. Yeah, interesting. I like watching how they like promote those designers that is so hard to find now, or stop making more patterns. And it's just interesting that back then it was so, you know, just call and get it. I think this is also promotions. There we go. Coffee break. I like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I love flipping through these magazines. It's the idea of how you can decorate your house with cross stitching. Like, it's not just put it in a frame. Look at this, it's the jar. You can put your stitching in a jar, which is not, you know, a big new news, but sometimes you just forget about it, or you're like, yeah, I'll do it someday. But when you're flipping through the magazines, it's actually inspiring you. Very simple, very cute. Some kind of article that I'm going to read in the future. And that's what I was talking about. We're gonna cover that. More commercial, which is, this gives me anxiety, but it looks like it's been writing by hand. And we got to the page where I found the pattern that I want to stitch first. And it's gonna be this one. I usually not into stitching any kind of phrases, but this one I think is just beautiful. Use what talents you possess. The woods would be very silent if no birds sang, there except those that sing best. I think it's beautiful, and it's such a reminder and inspiration that just because, you know, somebody is better, it doesn't mean that you can't. You can, and do it in your way, and I love it. So since we talking about the future pattern that I've chose from this magazine that I'm going to stitch, and I love everything about it. I love the little like frame elements. I love how it can be any season. We can imagine it's a lake, or we can imagine it's snow. I love this very heavy back stitching, and it gives like the texture, it's so real like. But I have to show you element of the pattern, because at first I'm like, well, it's gonna be an easy pattern, because all these older magazines, the patterns that they include, they're usually a little bit on the square side, if it makes sense. Like, it's very like how to explain this? You will see what I'm talking about. But when I opened let's check out this bird. Do we see it, all this 3/4? The pattern also drawn by hand, same 3/4, same 3/4. Like, it will take me a minute to concentrate. Everything else is very, very busy, but the second bird, it's the same way. We have lots of 3/4, and the key for 91, I mean, I'm not an expert. I haven't stitched lots of vintage patterns, but it's also impressive how many blends in here and how detailed. And I think that's why it stands out to me, because I like if you've been watching my other videos, I like when the pattern, I don't want to say difficult, but it has more depth. And I'm definitely into that fully kitted projects and stuff. Like, this is what definitely not. That's why I thought it's going to be also very easy and fast stitching. And I think the rest, like these elements repeating themselves, I think this will be super easy to stitch. This is just basically big amounts of back stitching. The birds will take a little bit of time. I will need to take a working copy for myself because I will definitely need to enlarge it somehow. But I love how it's also framed. And yes, I'm talking a lot about use your stitching for something else, but I think this particular one needs to be framed and put somewhere where you can see it daily for inspiration, for when you feel down. I don't know, this phrase really spoke to me. And since we're talking about it, let's see what I've prepared. So if you didn't know, I used to be a beauty blogger, beauty influencer, if you will, and Pixie used to send me lots of PR stuff, and I saved these boxes because they're very, very awesome. Also, as their makeup and skincare, I do like Pixie. I love Pixie. I still use them daily in my makeup routine. So there we go. But the boxes are also very amazing. Also, if you watch my previous video, you know that I am lucky, and I hope my luck is not done. I've been randomly places where randomly cross-stitch estate sale happening, and that's where I found this fabric, and that's my goal for closest time to me. It's to use what I have. I mean, I still love shopping. I'm not gonna lie to myself, I will continue shopping, but use what I have. And what I had, it's this casual. I have not stitched on casual yet, in color natural, 28 count because it's casual. So the previous owner had it for C2C design, which I don't know what it is, but I think it's very close to the one that they used here. So the pattern says it's Belfast, the one that it's used. And I know the only difference between the casual and the Belfast, I think it's Belfast 32nd count and casual it's 28 count. Like, all Belfast always gonna be 32nd, right? And casual always gonna be 28. If I'm wrong, tell me that I'm wrong. But it's stitched on 32nd count raw Belfast. It's not raw, but it's natural. So I feel like it's very, very close. If you subscribe on me my Instagram Instagram page, you know, like about a month ago, I have a big debate on what kind of fabric to stitch my the pattern with the pomegranates and candy canes. This fabric actually was the first one I've chose, but I changed my mind and I changed it back to blue, and now I'm stitching it on the blue. I have a pretty good cut of this fabric. I will need only half of it. The other half I will be easily to use for something else in the future, and it makes me very, very happy that I'm using what I have in my stash. Yeah, it just makes me happy. And the floss, it's very natural colors. I ripped the inside PR box, and actually that's something that I want to try in the future. I want to try to stretch fabric over the box and decorated lots of my boxes, but I need to be in the right mood for this. Like, you know, when you have that very creative, you don't know what you're doing, but your hands just do it for you. Time to time I have this, and next time I'm gonna be in that mood. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stretch fabric over all of my boxes that I use for organizing my projects. Lately, I've been loving organizing projects in the boxes instead of the bags. Yes, I cannot keep the hoops in there, but the floss, the fabric, and when the project I'm not stitching it actively, I do take it off the hoops, and it's very comfortable for me to put it back in a box. I don't know, boxes just make sense, and I could put them in the shelf. Like lately, I've been vibing the box storage versus the bags. Like I have one project bag that I dearly love because my friend made it for me, but like the rest of them, they just in those zip bags from Amazon. I think lots of people use those, and I don't know, it doesn't speak to me anymore, and I love boxes. Well, anyway, this is the palette, and gonna be lots of blends, lots of colors gonna be used as it is. If you're new in the cross stitching, just for the future, definitely get yourself lots of 500, 501, 2, and 3 DMC flosses, because so far, if you have green in your pattern, 99.9, one of those colors is going to be used, and I'm always low on them. But I recently bought more, so I'm good now. Also, another color that I see a lot, it's these purple ones, like very common. I don't know, very random info, maybe somebody needs that. Anyway, here's the palette that's going to be used in here. Very natural fabric, and I think that's why it needs to be in the frame. I'm gonna probably put in my room as a reminder that, you know, do your best, not best as someone else, do your best. Basically, that's what these words meaning for me. But this video is about flipping through the magazine, so I just wanted to show you what I am intended, and I hope I'm going to be back in my stitching mode very, very soon. And I'm going to start this one, meaning that when I'm going to finish this magazine, I'm gonna be in a giveaway. But let me put this all away, and we will continue flipping through it. So this what we're seeing on the cover of the magazine, which when I saw this, I'm like, you know, small patterns. And then I remember about the cover, and I'm like, that's a lot of stitching. That's a commitment. I don't know if it's a fabric, it's a stitch, it's a quilting. I don't know what this part is, but it's a lot of stitching. And I keep seeing this idea of stitched blankets everywhere. Almost every single magazine have idea for it, and I think in the future I just might have to do it. A sampler. This part I don't understand. If you again watch my channel before, I don't say I'm not into samplers. I think I'm just not there yet. I think from what I gathered, all the cross stitches go from some kind of different phases. Our taste changes and all of that. I like watching others stitching it. I just think I'm not quite there yet, and I just know eventually I will get there, if it makes sense. It's just now I am into more full pieces, a little bit more something, again, I don't want to word difficult, but more detail, more depth, where here it's just we have that repeating pattern over and over again, which is beautiful. Again, I love the way others stitching it. I'm just not there yet, but I do like this one. I don't myself seen stitching it yet, and if anything, in all those magazines have so many samplers, but for everybody who loves samplers, I think this is beautiful. Our home, very cute. I like the lettering, especially the way they wrote our home. You can use it as anything you want. What I love about it, it's the picture itself. Something for the kiddos. There's the pattern parents. A day in the country. One day I will be brave enough and stitch something on clothing, because I think it's very unique and you made it and all of that. Again, I'm just not there yet, but I do like how it looks. Articles, commercials, all of this stuff that I hope I will read. Oh, they do give us a pattern for this watermelon. The pattern that I'm going to stitch. Oh, bear with me, okay? Gallery collection, fruits. I do want to stitch something like this. It's just particular, this one doesn't speak to me. I do have this crazy idea of next year starting my first real like project, like a mini, what you call them? In English, there's a specific name for it, but I want to start something that looks like an actual painting. Like there's lots of colors using. There's a lot of work, people stitching those for years, and I think I'm getting ready to be dedicated to it. Like actually have, I want to say Chimera, but Chimera, I think it's the name of the brand. Anyway, if I am gonna stitch something like this, like a gallery collection, it is gonna be one of those very realistic like pieces. But for somebody who don't want to torture yourself, this is the great idea. There's the patterns. Buttons. Commercial. More commercial. Teresa Wensler. So popular, huh? I've never seen these designs. Her fruit baskets. I wonder if it's also her or it's just the collection of just cross stitch. My friend is about to start this horses and I'm kind of thinking joining her. Oh my god, $3.95. I wish it still will cost like this. It's also almost impossible to find, almost impossible to buy. Like, this is crazy. But these horses, if you have never seen them stitch, definitely Google and check it out. Those are gorgeous. I started stitching my first Teresa Wensler this year, and I still think it's a lot of work, it's a lot of dedication. You need to be slow, you need to be in a zone where nobody touching you or bothering you, because it's very easy to make a mistake. And that lady loves her blends, but that's what makes the work, the finished project, it's so like nothing ever gonna look like that. It's so like, I love when designers have their style and it's showing. I don't know, it's just gorgeous. I wouldn't say I want to stitch everything by her, but I do have lots of plans for the future that I am going to stitch by this designer. More commercial, also again Teresa Wensler, her. These, however, I've never seen, and I don't think it's her. I think it's just by just cross stitch. I like this. There's a bunny, a squirrel, a bird, another bird. I do want to find some kind of season series that I will stitch and just rotate them, like use them same frame and just rotate them during, like, well, it depends what kind of season it is right now. But for right now, I have not found any patterns that all season I would like and I will want to stitch them. If you have any suggestions and you think I will like it, please let me know in the comments, because I do want it. It's just I have not found anything that all 4 seasons are, I feel connected to. I don't know. More commercial. Encore floss. It's not very popular, isn't it? I don't see anybody using them at all, which is interesting that everybody just decided to go with DMC. I mean, in the older magazines, you will see like a Encore and then DMC conversion, but nowadays, like, I see very rarely Encore anymore. I do have some kits by them in my stash, and eventually I will stitch it because I do want to try the floss and I want to see why everybody went with DMC at the end. but it's interesting. Again, more commercial. I think everything we have left in this one, it's just the commercial. Okay, so this commercial for Krennic Metallics. I want this peacock. I need to see if I can find it. This is beautiful. Actually, we have a peacock feather. I'm showing with my fingers. I apologize. I have nothing next to me that I can point it with. But knowing now there's gonna be Krennic in it too, it's gonna be super sparkly. If you know where to find this one, please let me know. And that's the end of the magazine. Oh, look. Oh, I thought it would be connected, but no. But it's the same thing. All these projects that I decorated the room with. Anyway, so that's the first magazine I chose to stitch. Those birds grabbed my attention right away. I hope will be showing you my start in the near future, meaning when I'm finished with that pattern, this magazine will be participating in a giveaway. So if you're interested, definitely subscribe, keep following me, and keep looking for updates. And let's do the flip through another one. There are gonna be no chronological order, no in order I got them, not in order by the brands. I have a huge pile of these. Whatever I picked, I'm going to show you. This is cross stitch, 5 cents. Yeah, okay. And it is January, February of 88. From the start, I already love all of this. And from the start, I love this sampler. This sampler, I see myself stitching anytime. Like the flowers, the birds, the alphabet. And what I love about this one, it's that instantly I'm thinking, okay, the alphabet, I can definitely stitch with variation floss. I can see where I can add the beads, like I can play with that. And I love when I see the patterns and my thoughts instantly goes to that place where I can play with it. How can I change it? Nothing needs to be changed. It's beautiful as it is, but I cannot help it. That's how my brain sees it. We're starting with the commercials, which is very interesting to see. Also, I just noticed it. How can I zoom it for you to see it? Merry Merry Christmas, and there's dancing bunnies. And they are so cute. I guess it's gonna be in a December issue. And I've never seen this bunny, so I'm assuming I don't have that issue. So I'll need to find it somehow. That's funny. There's a little comic. I'll tell you, honey, there's nothing as exciting as starting a new project. And she sits there with all of this. This is so funny and so true. What? 30 years later, it's still very, accurate. So this magazine is kind of easy to flip through because if it's like actual paper, it means there's a pattern. But if we are going to these pages, we will see a preview, which we have like a guest style idea and put in a guest bathroom and friends, blooming flowers in the garden of the heart. Little decorations, ideas for guest bathrooms. That's cute. Also look at that old shaving station and all of that stuff. That's crazy. This is also beautiful samplers. And I like how they're showing you the idea how you can, you know, you will think about it. It's not that hard to think about it yourself, but it definitely helps when you're flipping through the magazines, Instagram, Pinterest, to get those ideas and how you can interpret it in your work. Like, I love how they're showing you that you can just take a part of the sampler and stitch it differently. You know, it looks like it's a key holder. Like, it's simple. You definitely can figure it out yourself, but that's what I love about it. Like, it's actually stitched projects that they displayed. Nowadays, even when you buy a kit, sometimes it's not a stitch project on a cover, it's a computer graphic. And I love how you can see the finished results, how they break in and showing you in different way how you can decorate with it. What I like about this one, it's the frame. It's simple, but you can use in so many different patterns and interpretations, and again, use your variation floss. I think I keep talking about variation floss because I have so many of it that I'm like, I need to use it. That's the ones that I want to stitch. I'll have to cover it over here because there's a pattern. I think it's either stitch, yep, it's stitched on perforated paper, which is fine. I'm okay with perforated paper, but I definitely see myself stitching it on 30-second count, even weave, any kind, and do a pin caps and hang them not as a square, but as a diamond shape, right? Like put the hang thing over here. Yes, this shape might get lost, but you can also like back stitch. Actually, right here, the back stitch is already there. So, I mean, it's just not going to be cut. It's going to be a full square. So, like, you know, not going to be a hole right here. But I think this is beautiful. Definitely add more beads, add more sparkle. DMC has metallic, which is variation metallic. I think Cranic also have variation metallic. That can be added. I am working on some ornaments right now, and I order those AB crystals from like AliExpress, but if you have an extra fund, you can definitely do Swarovski in the center. Like, add a little bit more dazzle to it, and you got yourself a gorgeous Christmas ornament. And I 100% see myself stitching it because they are in the same style. I like the different colors though, and if you look closely, even though they're in the same style, each of them is different. So do the monochrome, you know, like if you want to do them blue, choose the blue palette and stitch all of them in blue. That way you do have a little set of ornaments the same color. Like, so many things already I can come up from just having this as a base. Even stitch it as it is, it's already beautiful. And that's why this paper right here, it's for me to remember that in this magazine, that's the pattern I've chosen to stitch in the future. I think it's beautiful. If you will stitch it on perforated paper, also you can do 3D. For example, this element right here, you can stitch it on a perforated paper, put it in them 2 or 3 layers, and then stitch through that layers. That way your toy, that Christmas ornament, is gonna be thicker. And it will give it a dimension. I think if you stitch it on fabric, you technically can do the same thing, but it will be lots of more work, and I don't think it's necessary. Or you can add like an embroidery moment, you know, where you put like a felt or some kind of soft material, and you like stitch it on top of it. That way it gives you also like 3D effect. Like, look, basic pattern from 1988, and I already given you so many ideas, and I'm sure you will come up with so many more. And that's again why I think if you see magazines in a thrift store or something, at least flip through them, because I'm sure each magazine will speak to you at least one pattern. Like, I'm in love, I'm obsessed. I want to stitch it. I want to stitch it all. Patterns and patterns. Okay. I know for sure I have a second magazine, and in second magazine I have tulips, which I like more than these lilies, but I wish I would have the rose because I think this looks almost like wild rose. I like more. And if you pay attention to the background, how they decorated it, they drew this bow, but I'm actually seeing on Pinterest lots of people displaying their pictures or just decorations in this particular style. So you basically put in just a frame and then decorate it with a bow, and the bow has very long length of ribbon. My dog decided to clean herself in the background, so that's the noise you can hear. And like, I love this idea for the decoration. I just don't think I'm going to stitch this particular pattern. I wish I had a rose. I would definitely stitch the rose because I like it. And if I had a rose, I might stitch also the tulips, but lilies just not my thing, not my flower. However, it is beautiful. I also love how they chose the mats, right? The darker one inside, the light pink outside, the frame, everything about it, it's beautiful. It's just lily's not my flower. Next we have these cute bunnies. They are adorable. They're holding a sign right here saying Merry Christmas. There's a Papa Bunny. Then we have patterns. Oh, this one I remember, and this one is, again, you will see, again, we see a page with a sticker in here, meaning that I am thinking about stitching it. I don't remember what it says though. Grapes on the vine, in clusters they're hanging, soon to be wine, so run, folks, run. It's like a little hoko, huh? I'm not, I think I said it before, I'm not into alcohol for no particular reason. It's just, I've never had no reason. I just, but whatever. This one, I stitching right now the wine for my mom, and I think I need to stitch her this one because she does like wine. I am a redhead, I'm her daughter. It's a little fox, the fox with baby foxes. Like, it's so cute, and it's so square-like, and that's what I was talking about. It's like, you know, there's no depth. I don't think there's any blends. It's very simple, but it's so cute. I absolutely love it. Like, something about it just speaks to me, and I think I need to stitch it. So that's why this mark is here. Next one, we have a boy and a girl, and I have a second magazine where I have a girl, and this magazine I think has a boy pattern. Usually it says on what page the patterns are, so I can confirm it. Yeah, there's a boy pattern over here. I like the outfits and the toys around them. The girl having tea party, super cute. So I don't think none of these patterns are here. This one is, and it's cute. That's what I think about patterns from 1988, I imagine. The Raggedy Doll or whatever you name them. And I like how the wallpaper are displayed and the little sheep. Then we have commercial. There's that pattern. And on the very last page, it's actually interesting. We have a pattern for this lacing, but for this wording, because I think right here inside it's either some kind of scrapbooking or picture. It's almost look like it's perforated paper and it's cut out. You see how it's like square cut out? But yeah, right here it's the pattern and it's for this lacing, but for this wording, which is also very interesting. Also, it looks like a 3D card, and those are so popular right now, but it just proves that everything is returning. But there you go. That was a magazine from Cross Stitch, and again, it's January, February of 1988. Don't know when I'm gonna stitch it all, but I definitely have a desire for it. So one more, there's the address of the previous owner and I don't want to show it. This is the cross stitcher Happy Holidays, and that's from December of 2003. See again the blankets with cross stitching. I think I just need to make one, but as always, first page it's some kind of commercial. Those mountain boards, I think I have one in stash from the previous, like some kind of lots that I've bought. I just don't know how I feel about using glue on my projects. Let me know if you tried it. Even when I see people doing pin clips or framing their projects themselves, I see them, lots of people using double tape. Is it like getting bad through the years? Is it damaging the fabric? Like, if you use it, please let me know, because it seems like it will make my life so much easier than doing the method that I'm using right now, which I just take a very long piece of floss and I'm connecting all the edges. So yeah, let me know how you feel about gluing in all kinds of way your projects. If you experience with that, like, should I do it? Should I not? What's we're going to expecting to see in this magazine? As you can see, there is a little paper sticking out of there, meaning I did choose something that I want to stitch from this magazine. This idea is very, very cute. Like a counting days till Christmas, but his face, like he's missing his nose, and I don't know, it's not doing it for me. I don't know. I mean, you probably can add it, change it, do it your way, but I do like the idea of counting days till Christmas. Here's a pattern, a little Christmas in the woods, a little cute pattern, sampler. Gives me like Home Alone kind of style, right? Pattern, more pattern, an alphabet, but I think it's, oh, project shows a key code. There is a chart in it. Well, that's cute. That's the whole alphabet that Christmas related. So that's the alphabet. More alphabet. We have Santa, and I love how they displayed it on the bag that you can use for anything that you want. Next one, we have a bell pull with cute mouses, they sleep. And some buttons, looks like. The bows and all of it. This is actually very, very cute. He's half awake. And it's funny because the next pattern, it's the cat. Christmas cat's talking. Almost look like my cat, but her nose is different. This one is actually very cute. I like this one. We have a pattern. Alphabet. I don't know if it's a commercial yet or we're actually gonna have these patterns. I do like this ginger guy because definitely this can be stitched with metallic or beads to make it sparkle. I like all three of them. However, I would definitely stitch the gingerbread, which I like more than was on the previous page, and the Santa bear. Nutcracker, not really into it, doesn't speaks to me, but these two are very cute. I like how they're in the same color palette. and looks like they decorated as a coasters. I would definitely make them like a pink cape or maybe pillows and have as a decoration. Also, the candy canes look so realistic. They look so like 3D. It almost gives you, I don't know, at least for me, the effect of a little bit more, and they start like rotating, you know, like a magazine in the stores, like on display. I don't know, I think the colors and the placement done very good on these frames. It smells all aglow. Little cute scenario. I like the reindeers in the background, but like they're not connecting to anything, just plain reindeers, I guess. There's a pattern for that. And then now to the one that I'm definitely going to stitch, because at first I thought it's a mill heel. I still didn't double check the info. Maybe there's something telling me that it's a mill heel, but at first I thought it's a mill heel. Everything about it, it's a mill heel. Lots of beads. I actually do have floss. This one right here. Barely any cross stitching at all. I would definitely stitch it on the fabric of this color, and I like how they suggesting that this you stitch like a mini pin keep and then you stitch it to it. If I would decide to do it this way, I definitely don't see myself stitching it to the paper, because I feel like for the paper it's going to be too heavy. But I think what I would do, I would probably just stitch it on green paper, because green fabric. I do have a fabric this color, and I would not make it as a pin keep. I will make it flat. Maybe the inside just stitch with half of the cross, half stitch, white color, and then Mary can be changed to the different color beads or not been stitched at all. It can be just this, looks like reindeer and the snow coat, Santa coat, and just the border. But I like this one a lot. It's different, it's interesting, and me as a mill heel collector at this point, it gives me strong mill heel vibes, and I think I need to stitch it. So that's why this is here. I think in this magazine, definitely this is gonna be stitched first. Then what was on the cover, and they suggesting you to stitch it on your sweater. And then we have patterns, more patterns. Kind of gives me Debbie Man vibes, but I doubt it, it's her. Gail Bussey, Witcheld, important. But reminds me kind of Debbie Man. But again, look, they're giving you idea to make it on a note board. So you stitch it, you add it, and then you add a little notes to it, which is genius. And very cute snowman. Maybe this snowman I would stitch on, what was it? On this pattern. Why not? I mean, who said you need to stitch particular this one? You can substitute, you can just stitch only this. Like, who cares? And I think these stars can be added all over the fabric as a decoration, as a snow going, but you're picking, not the stars, but you're picking the snowflake and you're marking the day till Christmas, you know. But you can easily substitute this one to this one. I don't know if size-wise they're gonna be the same, but I mean, okay, you're gonna be a little bit longer, bring the trees a little bit down, and it's gonna be just fine. A Santa that you can add to your cooking apron. Very cute. Towels. I need to start stitching towels because it's so convenient, but like stitch something simple and maybe not use them, but use them as a decorative element for the Christmas decorations. That's just smart. A sampler. What I like about this sampler is the idea of putting thick floss around it and making like a bowl. There's a pattern for it, It's a big pattern. We have some commercial, more commercial. Mill Hill, the one that's possible to find now. And I think that would be it. I think I'm going to stop here because it's only been 3 magazines, but gosh, I love to talk about cross stitching. So I hope you enjoyed it, you stitched during this video, and maybe you picked something for yourself. Definitely let me know if you like this idea, if should I continue, because I think it's a great format of the video for me to film when I have nothing to show you cross stitch wise, and I do like posting every week. If you have any idea how I can improve it or something else you would like to see, please let me know in the comments. In the future, probably in one video I will fit more magazines. The only reason it took me so long and I only showed 3, I think we spent a lot of time on this one because I was showing you all the ingredients I got ready for the pattern that I chose. But thank you so much for spending your time with me. Happy stitching. I will see you next week, hopefully with cross stitch updates. If not, let me know in the comments what would you like to see. If you like this video, if you like flip throughs, if I should change something, add something, please let me know. You have a great week. I will see you next one.